Ricky Hudson. My brother-in-law, Joe Dorn, told me about it. I own a plumbing company, Acts of Service Plumbing, and learning just how to run my business better and to learn as much as I can to help promote it and get it rated higher on Google and let people know what we do. I love the whole atmosphere here. It's really high energy. Love all the positive things you see around the walls, and just gives you so much to think about, and it's just mind-blowing. It's different. It's just really transparent, open. He just shows who he really is, and he doesn't make an excuse or apologies for it, and he makes you want to grow and be something better. That it's going to take a lot of work and effort to achieve my goals, and that I need to make sure that my goals are written down, that they're clearly expressed, and what I want to achieve in my business and my life. I just enjoy hearing the testimonies from those that have done the business and how successful they've been and how much it's really helped them promote their business and the growth that I see in their lives and in their businesses. They're missing a lot. The potential that they can gain from coming to one of these seminars is just astronomical. It's just mind-blowing, the amount of information that is given out free here. And if they want to come and learn and really grow their business and are serious about growth and building something that will last, then they need to come here. Just to experience it, to see what it's all about. And I'm definitely coming back, and I'm actually signed up for an interview to see if we'd be a good fit for each other. So I'm excited about the future. Hi, this is Ricky with Acts of Service Plumbing. So I just want to thank Thrive 15 for the great job that they're doing.
Well, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we have a 2-for-1 special here for you. First off, if you're looking for a service provider, if you're saying, wow, I am looking for a plumbing company I can trust, you may just find the best plumbing solution you've ever heard of. And if you're looking to grow your business, you may also learn some pro tips on how to grow a successful company. Ricky Hudson, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, thanks, Clay. Doing great.
Hey, well, first off, full disclosure, we use you guys often to do plumbing for our business, our businesses, and we're super happy to hire you guys. You guys do a phenomenal job. But switching gears for a second, how did you guys at actsofserviceplumbing.com, how did you guys first come in contact with us? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was my brother-in-law. He had a window glass company. And he had told me about you all and said that you were a great company to work with and that he had gained quite a bit of traction just working with you guys.
Now, I wanted to ask you because and my memory doesn't fare me super well, but I think when we first started working with you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys hadn't really generated leads online previously. I think you guys were kind of in that online lead flow. I think that's kind of where you were before you reached out to us. Is that accurate, or am I getting that wrong?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. We had a website, but it wasn't very good. And we weren't doing any really a lot of Google reviews or doing any Google ads or anything. So we were just kind of floating.
And I believe that I think you first came to a business conference. Is that kind of the first interaction you and I had together? I think you came to one of our workshops?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
And how would you describe? I mean, people sometimes come to the workshops because we have, somebody like the former CMO of Harley Davidson shows up, and people get a chance to learn from Ken Schmidt how to turn around a company, or they might show up because Tim Tebow is there and they want to learn about the right mindset, or they might see an Eric Trump in attendance and they want to learn about the Trump approach to business, or Robert Kiyosaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad and they want to learn his perspective. But how would you describe the experience of attending an in-person workshop?
I liked it because it's kind of an intimate setting, and you get to meet the speakers. You can go up and talk to them. They're very friendly. They're open to questions, and I've never been to any really anything like it before, and getting to meet people. And there was the one guy that came up with the fire gun invention, and we were able to get on the ground with him and invest in his project, and just being able to sit there and interact with the other attendees and see how they're doing. And I built a lot of good relationships over the years, just going to the seminars and meeting different people. And I even met my chiropractor there, Brett Casbon, and he's still my chiropractor. So I've made a lot of good connections there.
And I think you guys met Grillblazer, the founder of Grillblazer.com, Bob
Yes.
Healy.
Yep.
I think you met him before he even launched his product. I mean, he's gone on to be super successful.
Yeah.
I think you were at the first one where he was bringing his prototype to the conference. Was that right?
Yes, and I got one.
Oh, so you're one of the
I bought
original
one of his
buyers.
first ones.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, okay, so now I want to ask you this here. As far as the plumbing service, tell us about all the services that you guys provide at actsofserviceplumbing.com.
We do anything from residential plumbing to replacing garbage disposals, faucets, hot water tanks, tankless units, work on sprinkler systems, anything around the house we can work on. We can fix it or replace it. We also work with commercial companies. We do all of Hideaway Pizza's plumbing for them. We put in several tankless systems for them for their commercial buildings. Work for several local restaurants.
So you guys do plumbing of all kinds, and I believe your sons work with you today, right? It's a family business?
Yes, I have two of my sons that are in the business with me, and that's going really good. We have a exit strategy already designed to where when I hit a certain time, then they're going to take over the company, and it'll keep going.
Now, again, we full disclosure, I mean, we do utilize your plumbing services from time to time, and we're super happy with the services there. Could you talk about the impact that that initial business coaching was able to make on your business for anybody out there that is, we always talk to people that are plumbers and doctors and dentists, and they're like, hey, what kind of impact did the conference in conjunction with the coaching make on your business?
It made a tremendous amount of impact because we didn't really know like the impact of getting the Google reviews until we had come to one of your conferences and started interacting with the coach. We didn't really know the importance of having a really great website. We had someone just design it, and it was just out there. And when we came with you guys redid it for us, changed the whole look of the web page, and actually started kind of monitoring it for us to make sure it was always running and running good. We also didn't know about looking at our numbers and how to really dive into the numbers until we started working with the coaches. And we found out how to look, see if we're profitable, see if we're making the right changes or not. And then just how to do the interviews. We were doing just individual interviews, and then we went to group interviews, and that was just a big change for the company. We, instead of wasting our time just doing one individual person at a time, we just bring in a whole group of people, sort through them real quick, and pick two or three that we wanted to follow up with, and that just really helped us just save a lot of time. And then after we had been with you several years, I was actually able to take 2.5 weeks off and go with my wife on a nice belated honeymoon that we never really got to have, and go down to Costa Rica and spend 2.5 weeks down there, and the company ran while I was gone. And that was all because of what we learned from you all.
Now, drilling into that a little bit here with the limited time we have, and again, I encourage everybody, if you're in the Tulsa area and you're looking for a plumbing service you can trust, one of the great things about the conferences is we meet people. Most of the clients we work with are not in Tulsa, but occasionally we get to meet people like you that you're in Tulsa, and we get an opportunity to use your services at actsofserviceplumbing.com. Great website, actsofserviceplumbing.com. Great company there. Having a weekly meeting, I think that is a super important thing because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, we're so busy. We're so perpetually bombarded with urgent demands. Ricky, we have so many things that are urgent upon us. We're always doing a job. We're always processing an invoice. We're always calling somebody back. Could you talk about just the importance of having that weekly meeting and then really drilling down and developing those new habits and those new routines, just that weekly meeting and drilling down and developing those habits and routines?
Yes. Just having that face-to-face conversation once a week, it helps keep you accountable and helps keep you on track because they're going to give you homework to do. They're going to say, okay, I need you to do this. I need you to look at your numbers, look at, how you're doing. Are you increasing your profits or are you going down? And just having that accountability has made a tremendous impact. It helped us develop, different aspects of the company, who's going to be in charge of what, because as an owner, you tend to want to just do everything, wear all the hats. And eventually you have to just get to the point where you say, okay, you take care of this, Michael, Casey, you take care of this, and I'm trusting you guys. And we set up systems through the whole process of how things should be done so that we're not just throwing rocks in the river and hoping, we hit the right mark. We just drilled it down to where this is our goals. This is where we want to be at in 6 months, a year, 5 years, and help us set those goals. And then things have just been so smooth since we started working with the business coach, and it has made a difference in my life, and it's made a difference in my kids' lives because they feel comfortable now as well to be able to take that company over and continue to run it for the next generation.
And looking at the numbers, and I know you've done a lot of changes, a lot of updates have been made between the time I first met you at that business conference where you met Bob Healy, the founder of the Grill Gun, and Bob's gone on now to sell. It's incredible. Bob now has a multi-million-dollar company. His company, grillblazer.com, is now a multi-million-dollar brand, and he came to that conference with that very first prototype. And I know you guys have never stopped improving the business. How would you describe where you're at now versus where you were when we first met at that conference?
We were sitting, financially, I think we were sitting around 400,000. And this last year we did 1.2 million. So our company has continued to grow and increase. We've set to where we have set up the bar really high with our guys to where they have to meet a certain standard. Another thing that they had taught us about was production pay, paying them based on how they're performing and not just getting them an hourly dollar amount, and they have no motivation to increase. And so that has really helped us to set a standard for our own team so that they're reaching higher and higher all the time, trying to get to that next level so they can get a pay increase and be a better provider for their families.
Now, we're off to a good start here in February of this year, and you guys are rocking and rolling. And for anybody out there who's in the Tulsa area that's looking for a plumber they can trust, in the closing a couple minutes we have here, could you tell us about your service and what makes your plumbing service different than your competition? Because, again, somebody right now, they're probably needing a plumber. We'll be calling you about a renovation we're doing. That's actsofserviceplumbing.com. What separates actsofserviceplumbing.com from the great competition that you have in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area?
One of the things we do is we give amazing warranties whenever we do work, and we also give upfront pricing before we ever pick up a wrench. The customer is not going to be surprised if things don't go the way we thought they were, and it takes us a little longer, we're not going to charge them extra. We gave them the price up front. That's what it is. We lock it in. They don't have to worry about that price ever going up. We put on shoe covers. We put down protective material on the floors to protect their house, take care of it like it's our own. We stand behind our work so that if something does go wrong, they know that we're going to take care of it. And we always send them a text message when we're on the way so they know exactly when we're heading that way, so they don't have to wonder, is this guy ever going to show up or not? And, we keep our word. We're there on time and provide great, outstanding service. And all of our guys have been there around 4 years, so we have great stability with our guys. And if somebody wants the same technician, they can always ask for the same guy. They'll get the same guy and build a good rapport with them. So, and we use the best material on the market. We don't get cheap stuff. We use the best stuff so that they're getting the best and can get a great warranty whenever we do any repairs or installs for them.
Well, final question I have here for you. Again, most of our listeners are not in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a lot of our listeners will probably run into you at our next in-person workshop. They might see you at the workshop, but for anybody who won't get a chance to shake your hand or see you in person, how would be, I guess, the best 30 or 60-second way to describe the impact that hiring a business coach had on your business?
Well, like I said before, it was just life-changing because when you try to do things on your own, you're not always seeing the big picture. Sometimes you get a narrow vision and you get so many fires, you're trying to put out the fires that you don't realize, okay, I need to be working on the business, not in the business. And you have to get to that point where you can finally turn part of it over to either some of your sons or daughters if they're working with you, or some of the employees you trust. You have to get to that point where you just say, okay, I need to be doing the $1,000 an hour job and let them do the $100 an hour job. And that was just a big changer for me that made such a difference. And I would recommend coaching to anybody out there that is thinking about growing their company and getting better and more proficient, and eventually wants to get to a point where you could step away for a month if you wanted to, and the company's going to run without you being there.
Well, I appreciate you so much for carving out time for us today, and I can't wait to see you at our next in-person workshop. And again, for anybody out there that might have missed that web address there, that's actsofserviceplumbing.com. That's Ricky Hudson. Ricky Hudson, thank you for carving out time for us, and we'll see you very soon,
Thanks,
sir.
Clay. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Bye.
My name is Josh Wilson. I'm the owner of Living Water Irrigation. So I've been working with Thrive since December of 2017. So the biggest changes we've seen as a company is, first of all, just systematically how we do things, how we present things. Our Google presence is phenomenal. Our website's 1,000,000 times better. And just the overall accountability and the process by which we're conducting ourselves. So our biggest win since working with Thrive is we literally, March was a record month for us. It was almost twice as much as our biggest month prior to that. In the last week or so, we've closed about $250,000 worth of business. We still have to go dig a bunch of ditches and get it done, but we signed about $250,000 worth of business with the relationships we built, the things that they've implemented through Victoria and Clay and everybody here at Thrive. So I would recommend Thrive to other business owners simply because they can point out where you're flawed and what you need to work on. You just have to be real and honest with yourself on what you need to improve upon. So that would be first and foremost. And the huge reason why I would do it, because it works. It actually, everything that they said when we came in for our initial meeting to today, absolutely positively has been accomplished.
Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're answering a question from a listener while also teaching something that we probably don't teach enough on the show, and that is managing humans. You know, it's getting people to do what they're supposed to do. So if you own a copy of the Boom Book, or maybe you don't, you can download, John, I believe if you go right now to the Thrivetime Show website and you click on the podcast button, I believe in the right column you can download all of my ebooks. Am I correct? Okay. So you go there and you can download the book, the Boom Book. And in the Boom Book on page 163 of this edition,
or on step 10, which is just go to chapter 12 of the Boom Book. You can find it there. I wrote in the book, I wrote here, management consists of your ability to get the members of your team to execute your business plans, systems, and processes with excellence. So what I'm going to do is, Andrew, I'm going to have you jot down on today's show notes specific areas where I get crazy, massive amounts of pushback on a daily basis. Whoa. The employees who work for me, for the Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge, have to do a great job. And let's define that. They have to be on time. We'll just start there. I want to get your take on this, John. To work at the Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge, we have 4,000 members who pay a membership fee to get their hair cut. We have over about 1,000 in Oklahoma City. And, John, your haircut's scheduled at 11:30. One of our clients has an appointment scheduled at 11:30. How late can we be before the customer gets upset?
1 minute. I mean, yeah, it's 1 to 5 minutes.
So the appointment's scheduled at 11:30, right?
Yep.
And the stylist, the grooming professional, is running late. Not cutting hair, but just running late to work. How long can you and I put up with that before the customer takes their money, a.k.a. their vote, to a competitor?
I'd say probably the second time somebody just is late to a haircut, the customer is no longer going to be a customer of ours. Interesting.
So you're saying that we have to be on time.
Right.
So how do you get people to be on time, John? Because you do a great job managing the team of dozens of ladies. How do you convince them to be on time?
Well, one, you got to write up, reprimand when it doesn't happen. You want to make sure that they, know the expectations to be there on time. But two is also have them get there earlier than they're supposed to, knowing full well that they're not going to get there on time.
A little notable quotable. You can get a tattoo of this if you want. Without friction, your success is a fiction. So without friction, your success is a fiction. What do I mean by that? I mean by, John, what happens if it just happened this week? And again, we release these shows months after we record them.
True.
But just on this Monday, you had to release somebody. And we'll say we don't know what gender they were. We had to release somebody. It could be a man, could be a woman.
Okay.
But we had to encourage said human to go ahead and go work somewhere else.
Oh, yes.
Why?
They were not a good fit for us, meaning they couldn't do their core task at the level of excellence that we needed.
And specifically, they couldn't be on time. Am I correct?
Right.
Over and over.
Yeah.
It couldn't be on time for the training.
Yeah, and it's
They couldn't be
always
on time
like
for the
something else.
haircuts.
So when you talk to somebody, it's always like they need something else, whether it's more training, more tools, more this, more that. And so eventually, you just have to just realize that this person's always going to be that way, and it's just better off for them to go find those things that they claim they need somewhere else.
Now, is it shocking to you that this person, regardless of how old they are, regardless of where they're from or how much experience they have moved around quite a bit from job to job when talking to the person, and they've had a hard time finding a boss that can – I mean, is it interesting to you that people shop around jobs, that people tend to be job hoppers if they can't be on time?
Well, it doesn't shock me because typically when you're a crazy person in one area, you don't just let your crazy out in one job. It just kind of bleeds into all areas of your life.
Everywhere, yeah.
But crazy people gonna crazy,
That's true. But think about this, Josh Wilson. You have a team of people at Living Water Irrigation. Have I muted you? There you are.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hey, we're in.
Okay. So you have a team of people at Living Water Irrigation.
Yes, sir.
And you have crews, and you have a bilingual crew. Am I correct?
Oh, we do?
Yeah. See.
And you have
Spanish
to get your
impeccable, Mr. Kelly.
You have to get your employees to be on time.
That is correct.
What happens if they're not on time and you let the employee get away with it a lot? What would happen by default to Living Water Irrigation if you were over time to let it drift?
We'd be out of business.
Interesting.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business, and I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I am not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us in getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. We have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome.
I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live 2 years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodward Finishing, business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. That's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
Hi, I'm Amy Cheney. My husband and I are owners of Cheney Construction here in Pampa, Texas. And I was a little skeptical at first because my husband's tried to do things like this before. But once I was able to speak with Clay myself, I thought we need to give this a chance. So we were able to determine that the savings that we have from the decision that we made each month is going to be roughly about $2,000 a week, so it's about $8 grand a month. Plus we also made the decision to get rid of a billboard that hadn't really brought us any business, and that was another $475 a month. So we're looking at $8,500 a month, and that's a really big deal. So my first thoughts when Clay introduced us to the weekly Know Your Number system was, no big deal, we don't need to do that. We have a secretary that's an amazing QuickBooks person, and so she enters all of that stuff every single day for us. So we don't need to do that ourselves. QuickBooks will pull a report, that's all we need. We don't need anything else. There's no sense in me double duty. Clay, do you understand how many transactions are in our bank statement every single month? It would take me forever to do. So very resistant, because I thought, we already know our numbers. We already have everything into QuickBooks, and we already know what we need to know, and we can pull a report to provide you with that information. So some of the struggles in being able to complete this action item were getting the want to do it. Once I actually decided, okay, Clay, you can stop asking me. I'm actually going to sit down and do this every single week, and actually got through it. That was it. Like, I've made that commitment. It takes me maybe 20 minutes on, every Saturday morning to go in and do the previous weeks. Now that I've been doing it for a while, I'm kind of on a roll, and so it makes it a lot easier. So one of the things we discovered when we started looking at the money this closely was that my husband doesn't want to know the numbers, first of all. He pays good money to have someone do that for him because he just doesn't want to know. It's not his thing. And so I had worked for an accountant previous to this, so that's kind of my thing. So for him to be able to sit down and take a look and see some of the things we're spending money on that he probably didn't even realize, or to realize how much we've been paying some employees that were not operating as A players. That was the big eye-opener for my husband. But when he saw the numbers of what we were paying in payroll expenses for two team members that were not operating as A players and hadn't been for quite some time, that was a huge eye-opener for him, and he realized that he needed to take that emotion out of that decision and make it a business decision. It's accountability for your secretary as well, or your bookkeeper, whoever does your books, especially if it's not yourself, because if you've not ever had anybody embezzle money from you, then you're very fortunate. So it's really good to have that accountability. We've had that happen in the past to us, and so my secretary's actually even come back to me and said, hey Amy, I really appreciate that you're doing this now, because now at the end of the month, if there's not any money, then you know exactly where the money's went. You and Jimmy have known exactly where the money has gone. So we're not coming to her going, where's all our money? Because that's not a good position for her to be in either. So like I said, just knowing where your dimes are going is a huge deal, and being able to know where to cut back from, that's a big deal, but also the accountability for everyone on your team.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due, and Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I mean, I went to medical school, I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be, when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous. Just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success. And I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And as my rich dad always said, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever was important. My rich dad was one of those persons. I wanted to learn how to play Monopoly in real life. So he was my coach.
Hi, my name's Steven. My incredible coach, Jason, asked me if I'd share a little bit about invoicing and how it's changed our business not to invoice. So we run a manufacturing company called Mod Scenes. And I have a couple of questions to answer. So what was our life like when we were invoicing? Not super great. We did a lot of work where, since we do manufacturing, a lot of expenses would go out on the front end, and then on the back end, we'd be caught trying to chase people down for money to be able to pay for the materials that we'd already, cut and sent to the clients. So obviously that was not a huge great thing. It's constantly thinking through, okay, what money coming from which job can go to the next job. It put us in a place where we had to spend a ton of time thinking through the money part of it. And on a consistent basis, we'd have clients who wouldn't pay, or they would take 45 days instead of 30 or 60 days to pay. We even had one client, I think it took us almost 200 days to get paid on, tens of thousands of dollars worth of material. So it became a very big sticking point really quickly. So I was concerned whenever we stopped invoicing because I was worried I wouldn't get that work. There have been a couple of small times that's happened, but honestly, in retrospect, I see that I probably didn't need those people as clients anyways, because we ended up doing a lot of work for them, and by the time all of our time was put into chasing down money from those and actually getting the finished product to where we were happy with it and they were happy with it, it ended up being more time than we probably were paid for. So since then, our life's improved. About 90% of our business is paid up front. Another probably 7% of it is there's a large deposit paid on, and only a very select few customers get invoiced, and they're typically on a net 30. But those are customers we've had since the beginning. So, and they're outstanding. So I hope this is helpful. I'd be happy to answer any other specific questions if it helps you. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jim Cathcart. I'm from Thousand Oaks, California, originally Little Rock, Arkansas. Happy to be in Tulsa. I'm a professional speaker and author. I've been doing this for 41 years, so I've done 3,100 talks around the world to convention audiences typically. And I've written 18 books. And so in my niche, I've gone deep and wide, and I love being around this kind of training, and that's what attracted me to Thrive in the first place. One of the coolest things about Thrive is it's a culture. It's not just a place, it's not just a thing or a process. It's a culture. And, like people talk about the Disney culture, the Google culture, the Amazon, whatever, the Zappos. A lot of companies have been featured for their unique cultures. Well, if you look around here, and you can see some of this behind me, you can certainly see it on all the other walls, and the floor and the ceiling. Every inch of it is intentional. Every inch of it is designed to stimulate more creativity, more discipline, more commitment, more openness, more sensitivity on some level. I'm looking at a wall right now, and it talks about how do you achieve the wow factor, and how important is vision, and why is enthusiasm so important? How do you stimulate motivation? How do you increase your expectations so that you increase your game to reach those expectations? All of this puts you into a mindset that causes you to want to grow, want to be more, want to make a difference. That's what I love about Thrive. let's assume for a minute you heard about Thrive. You read one of Clay's books. You tuned into the radio show. You, I don't know, you watched, you signed up for $1 and you watched a few of the mentor videos online, okay? And you say, yeah, it was good. Okay, I know what that is. Well, yeah, it's kind of like wandering through a library and reading part of a book and saying, yeah, I got that, right? Go through a Barnes & Noble. Find one near you. Go through one. Just wander through. Look at the titles. Pick up a few of them. Read a couple pages. And then leave the store. You're going to be better off. Maybe a little. Okay? But why should you come to the Thrive workshop? Because that's where it gets processed. So you don't get better from exposure to ideas. You get better from application of the ideas. And the workshop is a workshop. It's not a seminar where you listen. It's not a speech where you just hear it. It's a workshop where you work on your business, your life, your goals, your concerns, your fears, your aspirations. So come to the workshop. First off, it's one of the most affordable in the entire world of training and development. Second, it is fun. I mean, you're going to feel good. And it's creative. So you're going to come out of here with not just ideas from the workshop itself, but workshops from the experience you had. I mean, ideas from the experience you had by being in the workshop. So I would heartily encourage you to book an inexpensive flight to Tulsa, Oklahoma, find a nearby hotel room, and come to this for a couple of days and just completely immerse yourself in evolving in this kind of an atmosphere.
I am Steve Small. I'm part owner in Bigfoot Restoration Repair. We are in the Denver metro area in Colorado. We're kind of technically probably in our 3.5, 4th year of Bigfoot, but really only our second in truly trying to go after capturing major market share in the Denver area. So our first year, we did pretty well, kind of winging it on our own. But this last year, I think we're up about 112% growth based on the previous year. So with Thrive, obviously they have us do a multitude of things that, prior to working with them, we really didn't understand the value. So obviously we put a ton of time into obviously doing great work and really doing great technical execution of our industry for all of our clients. But in addition to that, we're heavy into podcasting, into creating content for our website, just doing really all of those action items that they, suggest are a part of a successful growing business. So we started with Thrive last April. One of my best friends had encouraged me to go out to one of their conferences the year before that. Just could never make it work. So we finally snuck out there in spring of last year, hopped on board, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since. Mr. Andrew, he is he's a great guy. Really appreciate his energy and his hustle. He honestly motivates us as a younger person. Just brings massive amounts of energy to our meeting every Tuesday morning, bright and early. And we've enjoyed working with him immensely thus far. Yep, so I do this constantly. All of my friends and people that I network with that have smaller companies, regardless of the industry, I always encourage them to listen to the Thrive podcast, to, maybe make a trip out with us to Tulsa at some point, and just really say it's worth the look. They say it's not the right fit for everyone, which I suppose that's true, but anybody that I network with is, super cream of the crop when it comes to their industry. To me, it's a no-brainer, but it's got to be something where they understand the time commitment and that extra, just type of time management to their work day. But to me, it's always something that they need to at least check out.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Okay, Aaron Antis, March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, guess who's coming to Tulsa, Jerusalem?
Ooh.
Oh, Santa Claus?
No, that's March 6th and 7th.
Oh.
We're going to be joined by Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Probably the best-selling, or one of the best-selling business authors of all time. And he's going to be joined with Eric Trump. He'll be joined by Eric Trump. So we got Eric Trump and Robert Kiyosaki in the same place. Aaron, why should everybody show up to hear Robert Kiyosaki?
Well, you got billions of dollars of business experience between those two, not to mention many, many, many millions of books have been sold. Many, many millionaires have been made from the books that have been sold by Robert Kiyosaki. I happen to be one of them. I learned from the man. He was the inspiration. That book was the inspiration for me to get the entrepreneurial spirit, as many other people.
Now, since you won't brag on yourself, I will. You've sold billions of dollars of houses, am I correct?
That is true.
And the book that kickstarted it all for you,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the author, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
He's going to be here.
He's going to be here. I'm pumped.
And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States and soon to be the 47th president of these United States, he needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last, pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second. Would you buy a ticket just to see Robert Kiyosaki and Eric Trump? Of course you would.
Of course you would.
But we're also going to be joined by Sean Baker. This is the best-selling author, the guy who invented the carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sean Baker. He's been on Joe Rogan multiple times. He's going to be joining us. So you've got Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Eric Trump, Sean Baker. The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that, is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had 419 people that were here. 419 people.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. No, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what? We should probably add on. So we're adding on what we call the upper deck, or the top shelf. So the seats are very close to the presenters, but we're actually building right now. We're adding on to the facility to make room to accommodate about another 30 attendees or more. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody, don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
02.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then, you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard. And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis. There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
I should write that down. And I can do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole.
No exaggeration, and I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double, and you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. And then you add to that Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You add to that Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You add to that Sean Baker. Now you might take, but Clay, is there more? I need more. Well, okay, Tom Wheelwright is the wealth strategist for Robert Kiyosaki. So people say, Robert Kiyosaki, who's his financial wealth advisor? Who's the guy who manages, who's his wealth strategist? His wealth strategist, Tom Wheelwright, will be here. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And Jill Donovan, our good friend, who is the founder of Rustic Cuff. She started that company in her home, and now she sells millions of dollars of apparel and products. That's rusticcuff.com. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma, and nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in the it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns the what do you call that? The rental,
a storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the day here is March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, we just got confirmation. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he'll be here. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump Organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right. Really. So if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.